Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Right, y'all. Hope your Friday's off to a great start. A little chilly morning here. Great session yesterday with Crystal Poche. I'm gonna try to get back in the gym today over at Traction, so gonna go drop off Drew, get a little workout in, a client meeting, and then off we go, man. So y'all know the drill. Fire away with questions, comments. Appreciate y'all as always for being here, and we'll dive in. Saints retaining Pete Carmichael. Had some fun yesterday at the start of the show. If excuse me, if y'all didn't catch it, but Mike Triplett, Jeff Duncan, others reporting that the Saints are going to retain Pete Carmichael. They have fired Dan Rauscher, who's the run game coordinator, because that'll fix it. Anyway, the shame is, Rauscher has been a kind of like a good soldier all along, man. He's been with the Saints for 10 years and he's filled a lot of different roles as needed. He's been the offensive line coach. He's been the running backs coach. He's been the tight ends coach, running game coordinator. So when the offense struggles, someone's going to be scapegoated. And so, they fired Dan Rauscher, which, anyway, my guess is if Sean Payton's coaching again next year, which we all assume he will be, that Dan Rauscher will be coaching with Sean Payton. So, anyway. Also, they reported the possibility of the Saints adding offensive staff, but that they're confident in Pete Carmichael. So, they're just running it back, man. They're just running it back right now. DA, Pete Carmichael, probably bring back Andy Dalton. Who will? Probably be another terrible fall Sundays next year as well. Okay, let's say some good morning, y'all. Lady Tigers, how about it? Scrappy win last night at home. They eked past Arkansas 79-76. Everybody looking ahead to that game against South Carolina. Maybe they were a little bit too, but got the win, moved to 19-0, and did it in a fashion that they haven't had to quite yet. So, Pelicans back on the floor tonight at Orlando, 6 o'clock Central. LSU men hosting Tennessee tomorrow. So a lot going on, man. And baseball Tigers are practicing. So let's get it. Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning. Dale Broussard, good morning. Dale said, how was Crystal? I sure do miss her. Yeah, Crystal Poche is doing great, man. I got to see her yesterday. I needed her, man. Last week when I was working out at Traction, I felt a twinge in my back. I was starting to slip a disc, and it always makes me leery, man. It kind of traveled up my spine and into my neck, and so I was really having trouble with the mobility of my neck yesterday. So I went and saw her, and it's crazy, man. Like, it was one of those, sometimes when you wake up and you can't really move your neck. Like, that's how it was yesterday. And now, she went right into my hip and worked on this thing. I sat up and went, I could, full rotation mobility. Still got, still a little sore, but she's a lifesaver, man. I'm telling you. You got pain, go see her. Jason Austin, and that's why I'm not a diehard Saints fan. See, I don't agree with that logic at all, Jason. That's just that's not smart logic. That's actually illogical, because that would be true with any organization, because you don't actually control anything. You don't control ownership, you don't control who they hire, you don't control the coaching staff, who a head coach hires, you don't control what players they bring in, who they draft. You literally have no control. You're just along for the ride as a fan. So that to say that's why I'm not a diehard Saints fan that doesn't make any sense. You cheer for your team because of your allegiances, because of proximity, they represent your state or whatever it may be. Otherwise you just cheer for teams that win all the time because you're a front runner. So I don't get it. I don't get it, Jason. I don't like that logic. I think that's illogical, actually. Respect for you, though, dude. I mean, nothing personal. You know that. John Bro, good morning. Yeah, Lady Tigers passed the major test. Craig Dugas, it's January. I've watched more LSU women's basketball than men's. Officially a women's basketball school. No, it's officially a women's basketball school ball. Remember, let's go, Craig. It's your line. Own it, friend. Big shout out to Our Lady of Mercy was there last night for the Men of Mercy event. Taylor Calandro and I, they did a whiskey tasting event, and so got to do that. Really great turnout, good community, all that stuff. Really enjoyed it. Trivia Carter, good morning. Jason H, morning, Matt. Hope you were able to grab you and Drew a pair of dunks. I missed out. Not sure if you've looked at the Blazers yet. They have some on sale on the Nike app. So, I did get a pair of dunks for me and for Drew. I had, so for those who don't know, dunks are, it's a style of shoe that Nike makes. And, the black and white ones are known as the Panda dunks, black and white Panda, anyway. So I wanted to get my Panda dunks, and, there was a drop yesterday at 9 a.m. and it was the men's, the kids, and the women's. So, like, I was refreshing, like, right at 9. Boom. Mine, Drew's. And I talked to Erica right before. I was like, hey, what size is Drew? She's like, well, he's 11C. I'm like, okay. I was like, you sure you don't want them? She's like, yeah, give me a pair. I was like, okay. So I got mine, Drew's, Erica's. And, like, it was within 30 seconds of 9 o'clock. I mean, I was on it, just like, boom, over, boom, just boom, boom, boom. And then it's like, all right, we'll let you know. They send a notification. It's like, all right, we'll let you know if you got them. Like, okay, well, however long. I went to my session with Crystal, and then I checked my email later, and the first notification I got was, congrats, you got them, and it was the kids' shoes. And I was like, I didn't get them. We only got Drew's. Like, he don't even know or care, but I got his. Anyway, then I got a notification later that another pair came through. I figured it was going to be Erica's, but it was mine. So I got them, Drew got them, and then I got a sorry you didn't get them notification for Erica. So we'll have to get her some at another. But it's okay. She didn't really even like the Panda dunks anyway. We'll find something that we can all match on. River Reese, good morning. Jesse Post, how about them Lady Tigers? Brad David, do you think Eric Gilbert will play at Nebraska? Good question, Brad. I don't know, man. Track record says no. I think I finally spilled the beans on that a while back. Someone asked it on here, but Eric Gilbert is bipolar. He's diagnosed bipolar. Mental illness is real, and anyone that's ever known anyone who's struggled with that understands. And the hardest thing to do is to convince someone who's sick that they need to be on medicine because they don't know they're sick. And then a lot of times people get on medicine, they don't like the way it makes them feel, and so they stop taking that medicine. And that's what happened with Eric Gilbert when he was at LSU, man. He had some episodes, and so that's why his mom came here from Georgia and brought him home, and obviously never was able to get completely straight and narrow at Georgia, which it's an ongoing. So that's why when you heard Kirby say it, Kirby said, we want him, we want what's best for him. Go listen to some of Kirby's comments about Gilbert. So I don't know, man. I don't know if he'll ever play at Nebraska. I hope so. Jason Mobile, did you score the Panda dunks? I did. Hunter Braunhead. So Jason, were you there at 9, boom, ready to roll? Because I was there, as soon as that thing went live, I hit the button. Literally, I was looking at him at 8:59. I'm right there, and as soon as it hit 9, the button went live. Went boom, I hit it. Louis Malhoit. I'm more ticked off about Carmichael staying than Howard or Rick's transfer. That's a carryover from a conversation yesterday. John Bonin, good morning. Has Gail Benson become Pete Snyder? Is there any good news on the horizon? Who is Pete Snyder? Do you mean Dan Snyder of the Commanders? And the answer to that would be absolutely not, because he's an unethical goon. Mrs. Benson is actually a very good owner. What you want from an ownership group is to put people in place, give them the autonomy to do their job, and to spend money to win. She does that. Stewart, Jeff Duncan reported Loomis is looking for 2 firsts, 2 seconds as a starting point. Wow. I mean, that's what the Raiders got from the Bucks in the John Gruden deal 20 years ago. It was 2 1s, 2 2s, and like $8 million cash. If you missed Randy Mueller on the show yesterday, really good conversation. You know, this guy's been a GM in the NFL, so kind of had the Peyton conversation through the lens of a general manager. And one of the things he said was, what Sean Payton said, mid to late first round pick is probably what it would take. That's ultimately not Sean's decision, although he and Mickey have likely talked. But what Mueller said is, of course, you got to leave room for negotiation. So you ask for way more than that, understanding that there's going to be a negotiation. And so as you concede and come down, hopefully you hit the agreement that's more than what you would be willing to take. So it was interesting. So maybe that's Loomis saying, yeah, I want 2 1s and 2 2s, really thinking if I can get a 1 and a 2, you win. Jesse Brown, Larry Garner, Weston Weaver, strong side, good morning. Joey B19, hasn't Jackson Dart already used his 1 free transfer pass? I'm sure he knew these transfer were happening and would have transferred already if he was going to go. So yes, he has. He transferred in from USC. He could transfer again with a waiver. Could he get that waiver? Don't know. Or he could go to a lower level of ball and play. And Joey B19, to be very clear, I'm not telling you Jackson Dart wants to transfer. I think his preference would be to stay at Ole Miss, as I understand it. I am of the understanding that they are kind of going to force him out. So if you come through spring and he's running 13, and maybe you should transfer. Again, I don't know Jackson Dart. I don't know Lane Kiffin. I am telling you my understanding of the situation outside looking in, as I've talked to people. Like I'm telling you, Jamie Howard and Walker Howard, they knew Spencer Sanders was coming. When Walker committed, that wasn't news to them. That's why I put it on air on, what day was it? On Wednesday. I told y'all here. Like, they knew Spencer Sanders was coming. And so you ask around people close to Ole Miss who cover the team or on that beat, and it's like, is Spencer Sanders coming? And they get Walker. The idea is they force Dart out after spring. So I'm just telling you what the belief is there. But Dart would need, but if Dart left, he would need a waiver to be immediately eligible or play down in classification. Like he could go play in the FCS and be immediately eligible, right? I'm not saying he'll do that. I'm just saying that's, what he would have to do. Either get a waiver or go down or sit out. Gray Abraham, good luck with running it back. It'll be a tough 2 to 3 years at least unless we get the quarterback situation settled before then. I think that's fair. Stephen Miller, good morning. Dart can't transfer without sitting out, right, unless he gets a waiver. William Lewis, hey Matt, so is it safe to say the Saints not firing DA or the OC, that they're tanking for Caleb Williams? I don't think so, man. I don't think this organization is in tank mode. The problem is, William, like if you're, okay, look at teams like Houston. When you start trading off all of your young assets, you're tanking, right? The problem the Saints have is they don't have young assets to trade, right? We talk about this all the time. Like if you trade a player, you're also trading his contract. Well, the Saints have been in such a bad cap situation that they've had to restructure deals, and so they don't have the luxury of trading young players because you can't trade. This is the point made about like Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshawn Lattimore. When you've restructured all these contracts, even though some of those players have value, their contracts are so atrocious, nobody would take them on, right? So you really don't have anything to trade except for Sean Payton. So back to your point, you can't. The only way you tank really is if you just cut all of your veteran players, ate the dead money, had a bunch of undrafted rookie free agents and veteran minimum contract guys, where the majority of your roster was actually paid in dead money. They're just not. They're not doing that, so they're not tanking. They're just because they're not in a position to tank. They're just kind of stuck in limbo. Strong side, do you think Money will be a weekend starter this season or a reliever? Blake Money will be a reliever. Eric Waterwater, maybe Breeze and Peyton masked a front office that is actually average at best. Our cap is objectively terrible. Oldest roster in the league. We've missed quite a few drafts recently. So, Eric, I think I could understand how you would arrive at that, but I think we have to acknowledge something that we've talked about a lot, but might be conveniently forgotten now, which is the Saints were in win now mode. The reason the cap is what it is because they continuously work deals like that to make room for guys they felt could help them win right now. And now, like we talked about, also like you bought on credit, and now the Bills do, and you have debt payments. That's what's happening right now. So I don't know that shows. Hang on one second, I'm sorry. Drew's backpack beeping. Hang on. Sorry. It's all good, sorry. Anyway, I don't think I understood what they were doing at the time. It's just the Bills are doing now. So, and had they won a championship, we wouldn't feel this way. But they had a lot of playoff disappointments, right? So they didn't win the championship that they sought. And so it didn't work. They won a lot of games. They made the playoffs a bunch, but they didn't win the championship. And so that's why we feel this way about it. As always, I'll shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist? Go to Brock. They are the best. So inside the Surgical Specialty Center on Bluebonnet with satellite locations all over, of course, nights and weekends. The after-hours clinic is open as an alternative to the ER. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Expecting some rain in the forecast. Every time it rains, our phones ring over at Hudco. Just the nature of it. So if you need help with your roof, we'd love to help. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. As we mentioned, Restored Motions. Book a session with my girl, Crystal Poche. If you got pain, she will help take you out of it. And ProCharge EV. Y'all check out ProChargeEV.com. Let's see. Cody Brunet, what's going on? Spurge, A Withers 30. Matt, look at the Jackie Robinson dunks. They look awesome. Okay, we'll do. Guy Brooks, what's up? Strong Side, great interview with Stephen A on AFR. Can't wait to buy his book. Yeah, it was really cool. So, that happens sometimes. Just as an ESPN affiliate, they'll reach out to certain affiliates where, with interview opportunities. And Stephen A is going to be in New Orleans for a book signing tomorrow. So they gave us the opportunity to interview and was happy to do that. So, 10 minutes with Stephen A is 10 minutes well spent. So, everybody's got an opinion on him, whether you like him or not. It was a good convo. Wendell Norman, Jason H. Brandon English, wish I could buy bourbon like you do shoes. Just keep refreshing. Kyle Milliken, what's going on? But see, Brandon, the same thing though, man. Like with whiskey, I've never paid over retail for whiskey. Same with shoes, man. Like I was having this conversation with somebody last night. Like I can't, like I go on these apps and it's like, make an offer or bid or I'm like, I'm just not doing it. I'd rather go shop the 40% discount tab on the Nike app and find something I really like than spend over that amount. Let's see. Smash that like button, y'all. Hey, Dad, good morning. So Craig Dugas, thoughts on the men's basketball throwback unis. So I saw the video. Have they unveiled them yet? By the way, I think they're going with like the script Louisiana State uniforms, which I think are gorgeous, like with the stars dotting the I's. I saw the video they released, which was just kind of a tease. They didn't actually unveil a uniform. Unless have they done it now? Yeah, it's just like Throwback Thursday. Stay tuned. I love it. I wish they would make that a permanent part of the rotation. I think those are completely fire. It just thinks that the team's not very good right now. Dylan Horn, Matt, wondering if you've seen Georgia's football schedule for next year. If so, what are your thoughts? I haven't looked at it. I can tell you what it. I know what it is. I just don't know who their rotating cross divisional is. I think it's Ole Miss, isn't it? I think Georgia. Ole Miss gets Georgia. Ole Miss has to go to Georgia. So, it's not hard, right? It's an easy schedule. They got to play at Auburn, and at Tennessee. That's why a lot of people are saying they'll probably go undefeated again. It's very manageable. Let's see. All right, 5 more minutes here. Please smash that like button. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Debbie Jenkins, Kelly Gross, Bubba Smith, Mark Vitanovich, Jim Arsenault, good morning. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Father John David Mathern, what's going on? Saints aren't in tank mode. They're in mediocre purgatory. That's about right. Mark, will Marcus Davenport be back next year? Mark, there's some people out there who think Marcus Davenport's going to get $20 million a year just because he's, he at times when he's been on the field has been productive. But I don't know how you go this year when he didn't even have a full sack, and that's a guy that's going to command that kind of money. If the market's going to pay him that, then no. I'm sure the Saints would re-sign him at half that cost, but certainly not that cost. Megan Hurst, good morning. Preston Schulze, Spencer Sanders to Ole Miss are 3 quality quarterbacks. What's the true story why Walker left? So again, Preston, I'm going to direct you to go to the beginning of AFR 2 days ago when I told you Spencer Sanders was going to Ole Miss. They knew he was going there. And I've told you the answer already. You just don't want to hear it. And I'm not saying you specifically, but Walker he was willing to sit for a year. Year 2, the whole objective was have an opportunity to compete. I think what most people don't understand is when you are running third, you're the scout team quarterback, you're not getting reps with the offense. You're literally not even practicing with the offense. You're practicing with the defense. You are running a look for the defense, mimicking the opposing team. So are you really getting better if you're not repping with your receivers, your running backs, your offensive line, your offense? So that was the whole thing. He was willing to do that for a year, but not 2 years. And with both Daniels and Nuss coming back and Brian Kelly very clearly staying it's a 2-man race, it was essentially saying to Walker, you're going to be doing the same thing again this year. And I think the coaches thought he would never leave, and they were wrong. They guessed wrong. So Some of y'all have said, so Jaden coming back screws LSU. I think that's a stupid mentality because you're better in 2023 with Jaden Daniels. And I could also argue that Garrett Nussmeier was, before the SEC championship, was certainly looking around. And I think he was the guy you were going to lose. And then Brian Kelly said, hey, look, what if we divvy up reps? I think, they maybe made it more appealing for Garrett Nussmeier to stay, thinking Walker would never leave, and Walker left. I mean, that's what happened. Jason, you made it when you have Stephen A. on the show. Enjoyed it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Mark, LSU basketball NIT bound. I don't think they're any postseason bound unless they can find a way to scratch a few out before the end of the season. Oh, cool. It's on LSU Sports Tonight. Okay. Ronald John Elias looks like Howard will have a transfer to deal with. Again, I know everybody doesn't get to listen to every minute of every show, but please go back and listen to the show open on AFR from 2 days ago when I said Walker picked Ole Miss and they are fully expecting Spencer Sanders to show up as well. Talked about it a day in advance. They knew Spencer Sanders was going, and Jackson Dart. And by the way, even if he didn't, he'd be going to a place where they had an incumbent. So he was going to have to beat out an incumbent starter anyway, which shows you he was not going somewhere where they were going to hand him a starting job. He wanted an opportunity to compete, which he wasn't going to have at LSU. So you can say what you want about it. You can feel however you want about it, but that's the reality. And everybody has, the way I said it is, for 9 out of 10 players, when they transfer, they want to go somewhere where they can start, or they're getting a bigger NIL deal. And Walker is probably just that 1 out of 10. He's an outlier. All right. Carl Alexander, Tim Gotro, nice opening on AFR. You helped soothe my rage on retaining Carmichael. It was fun. We had a good time yesterday to open the show. All right, y'all, I got to go. It's 8 o'clock. My apologies. H-Town Creole, Mudbug, Barry Joslin, Cliff Nelson was good. Appreciate y'all. Okay, I got to go. Go. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Smash the like button if you would. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. As always, we appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all have a great day. LSU Daily's already live. AFR 3 with Terrio. And we'll see you. Peace.